Hey Gauchos, welcome to another week of UCSB TV. We're your source for information about on-campus events, Gaucho sports, and local news. Let's head to Megan to see what's happening this week.
Hey Gauchos, I'm Megan. Here are this week's events going on around campus. Today, May 7th, Associate Professor of History at Queens College, Dr. Deirdre Cooper Owens will give a talk, Medical Bondage and the Birth of American Gynecology. Owens will explore the origins of slavery, immigration, and race while looking at the development of gynecology. She will bring this conversation to the present by looking at how women of color are still discriminated against in the healthcare system. The event will take place at the MCC Lounge today at 6 p.m. Also today, Israeli author Ruby Namdar will be hosting a talk on his 2014 Sapir Prize-winning novel, The Ruined House. Namdar arrived in New York 18 years ago, and his novel is a response to his American experience discovering America, American Jewry, and American Jewish literature. The talk is free and begins at 7 p.m. and will be hosted in Corbin Pavilion. Tomorrow, May 8th, head to SRB 3153 for free pizza and conversation presented by the Office of International Students. The International Student Lunch discussion welcomes all students with international backgrounds or an interest in international culture. The lunch will begin at 12. Free pizza, don't miss out. Also tomorrow, the MCC Theater will hold a screening of Yamanha, Wisdom from the African Heart of Brazil. This film is a documentary about the Candomblé spiritual culture in Bahia, Brazil. Stay after the film for a Q&A with the director, Donna C. Roberts, the winner of no fewer than 4 Best Documentary Awards in the last year alone. The screening begins at 6 a.m. Tomorrow in the SRB MPR, join the Department of Health and Wellness, RCSGD, the Pacific Pride Foundation, and associated students for free and confidential rapid HIV and Hep C testing. Testing will be available from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., and snacks will be provided. Nubian Studies scholar and philologist Vincent W.J. Van Gerbenway will present a talk, Nubian Studies, a case study in scholar-led open access publishing. Vincent will discuss how community-focused, scholar-led open access publishing can help launch fields of inquiry and study that have otherwise would not have adequate resources to establish themselves. The talk begins at 4 p.m. in the library, Instruction and Training Room 1312. This Wednesday, May 9th, UCSB's Teacher Education Program will hold an info meeting in Education Building Room 1215. The UCSB Teacher Education Program offers a Master's in Education with emphasis in teaching and credential programs for elementary, secondary, and special education teaching. For further questions and to RSVP, contact the TEP office. The info meeting will be held from 3 to 4 p.m. To help increase the exposure of the UC Santa Barbara student body to the latest research in a variety of disciplines that concern educational issues, the Gewurz School, with support from UCSB associated students, has begun the new lecture series, Expand Ed, broadening the understanding of today's educational issues. This series features graduate students from across the country discussing their ongoing research. The third event of the series, Social ABCs, the role social attitudes, beliefs, and cognition play in schooling and relationships, will take place on May 9th and features speakers Colin McGinnis and Carly Robinson. Also this Wednesday, Reverend Dr. Jamie Washington will give a talk as part of UCSB's The Living Lives of Resilient Love in a Time of Hate series. His talk begins at 2 p.m. in the MCC Lounge. Finally, this Wednesday, the Multicultural Center will hold a screening of The Honest Struggle. After over 25 years of incarceration, a Muslim convert re-enters society in the south side of Chicago to face the same streets that ruined his life. The film is a raw portrait of a man struggling with his past as a gang chief while trying to survive an honest life and redefine himself in a world in which he feels no belonging. The screening begins at 6 p.m. in the MCC Theater. That's all for this week's events. For more information, visit the UCSB events page. Now to Celie for this week's news update.
Hi Gauchos, welcome to another week of news updates. Let's take a look to see what has happened this past week. The Daily Nexus reports that police are investigating the stabbings of 3 male youths. The incident took place on Wednesday evening, May 2nd, close to Estero Park in Isla Vista. The victims ranged from 14 to 18 years old and were rushed to the Goleta Valley Cottage Hospital. Sheriff's deputies are currently investigating the incident. The Daily Nexus also reports that on Thursday evening, May 3rd, the Santa Barbara Fire Department responded to a structure fire on Del Playa Drive. The fire started at 8:45 p.m. and was fully extinguished at 9:20 p.m. Reports state that the entire balcony was on fire and that it went into 2 units. Thankfully, there are no reports of injuries. Finally, the Daily Nexus reports that a new hot pot Chinese restaurant will be opening up in Isla Vista. The restaurant 212 Fahrenheit Hot Pot will offer soup-based personal-sized take on family-style hot pot. The restaurant is set to open at the end of May on the Embarcadero Loop. That's all for this week's news update. Now let's go to Kalisha with sports.
Hey Gauchos, it's Kalisha with your weekly sports update. After a 3-run home run by Armani Smith and a 2-run home run by Andrew Martinez, the baseball team was able to beat CSU Bakersfield with a final score of 9-5. The men's golf team finished 3rd out of 9 teams in the Big West Championships. Brandon Bauman tied for 1st, Brett Bennett placed 6th, and Nick Swanson tied for 9th place. Coming up this week, the baseball team takes on Pepperdine and Long Beach State. And finally, the softball team takes on Cal Poly for a 3-game series. Head to ucsbgauchos.com for more information. Now back to you, Seely.
That's all for this week, Gauchos. You can find our episodes on the Associated Students YouTube channel, on our UCSB TV Facebook page, and on Gaucho Space. Also, if you're interested in becoming involved with UCSB TV, we are looking for 2 new videographers and a news anchor for the 2018-2019 academic year. You can find the application on the Committees on Committees website. Hope to see you next week, Gauchos.